Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth with Osezwa Elimihe. We started a discussion yesterday on distraction. Somebody asked, what did you mean when you said that distraction is the suspension of our human life? And I felt I should begin from that point of view today. Now, the word distraction simply means that you have a path that is set before you, or you have a task that is on your hand that you're doing. And then something came along the line and took your attention away from that task. That's what distraction is. So when your mind is taken away from that task, you have suspended that task at that point in time. Now consider that task as your life. And distractions being those things. What are these distractions we talked about yesterday? We talked about resentment. Resentment keeps you away from your focus. Sex keeps you away from your focus. Sex is something incidental to life. It is what we do, one, primarily, to bring about the human vehicle, the baby, into the world. The other one is for conjugal relationship between a husband and a wife, in which they find peace amongst themselves and calm in that order. At certain levels in life, you outgrow this, and when you're no longer interested in having children, you totally let go of sex, and then the energy that you expend on sex, you convert them, you transmute them into some other higher callings. Okay, so sex is not something that you do all through your life. I have seen people who say that they still want to be engaged in sex when they are 90, when they are in their 80s. It's a choice they have made, because at the end of the day, it depends on what is the purpose of your life. If you have come into this world to become a porn star, to become an expert in the game of sex, oh, for goodness sake, give it all your best, and then you can go all the way. You can even think of doing it till you are 100 plus. It's just okay. But if you have interest in the higher callings of life, the higher ideas of humanity, you have to know that this is one of the things you must let go at certain points in your life. But at this point that you are still involved in it in your youthful days, you must pay your dues to the temporal power. And in that case, you have to pay to just one person at a time, one person. And if you are polygamous, you must stick within the bounds of your marriage and stick with those people that you've married. Or you are a polyandrist, because the word is getting to that level also, the same thing. But to go out of the vows of relationship, to go and start spreading your seed on or your eggs all over the place, it is not the best. We are not saying you shouldn't do it. Nobody has the right to make a law into your life. The laws that must rule your life must be the laws that you have made, or the laws that you have acquiesced to. But for now, we are saying that these things are distractions. You were traveling to Abuja by road from Lagos, and then you got to Okene. There's a stop by. Of course, you stop. In life, there are stopovers. You stop and you want to have a feel of that place. Stretch your legs, stretch your waist, and just hang around, buy some few things, maybe fruits or vegetables or meat or whatever it is you buy on the way. And then somebody comes in and says, you know what, let's take a look at this town. Let's just look around, and then we'll come back to the park and continue. We won't stay so long. And the person takes you into the town. And then from there, you are going from one place to the other. The site is so attractive and alluring. You are just going from place to place. And then let's go. It's okay, look at this, look at this. Just keep taking you around. Before you know something, you are deep into the town. Probably you think you've lost your way. You can't come back anymore, because you're depending on this person that is taking you around. And you feel that now you can no longer find the bus. It's too late. And you stay in that town. But you know that that town is not your destination. But you just enjoy it and say, I still have some money. When the time comes, I can always get another vehicle. That's what distraction is. But a lot of people, when they get into that situation, they don't come out of it. They try to find a circle, something that will give them a sense of relief and comfort in that distractive path. What do? When they get there? They start looking for more distractions, because anything that gives you pleasure, that keeps you in a state of distraction, is a distraction. The only thing you should be doing at that point in time, finding your way back to the park and continue your journey onwards to Abuja. Some would beg a friend, some will cajole, some will, try to make promises to the friend and say, let's just go back, let's go back to the park. Even if you are okay, we are not taking the bus. This town is beautiful. I love this place. Let's just go back to the park. Let me be able to trace myself to the park and back. Use all kinds of subterfuge, all kinds of skills, tricks to lure that friend who knows that town very well, that has taken them off the route to take them back. And when they get back, they get onto the bus and they return. They leave the friend behind if he doesn't want to go with them. That friend is the mind and its contents. And that friend needs to be handled with utmost care. You can't use force on the friend. You can't use anything that it has not bought into to win that friend. You must buy into that friend and lead the friend in accordance with your desires. Do not make the friend feel that whatever it says is ultimate in your life. Remind the friend that you are the king. You are the person who makes the decision. His or hers or theirs is to suggest, not to command, not to instruct. That is the function of the mind in the human world, in the human existence. But most people make mind out of ignorance the one who makes the commands. This is where the human flaws and frailties and sorrows and pains and sufferings come from. Letting the mind be the master, letting the mind be the guide. When the mind leads you, you experience fears, you get resentment, you get anger. And there is something that is a fallout of this whole discussion. We talked about fear yesterday, and we saw it as consequence of living a life of greed. That is to say, doing things for the benefits only, not because that thing is what they're doing, not because that thing is our service to life and divinity. And that thing was fear. What is fear actually? At some point in my time, the first time I had to talk about fear in my teenage days as a minister, I said that fear is a flight from victory. But the truth is this: fear is when your own powers are turned against you. Fear is an energy that is auto-directed. It's an energy that balks in the face of antagonism. Have you not seen somebody in your family or a friend of yours who comes across an obstacle, who's an antagonist, an enemy somehow, and you are supposed to attack the antagonist, the enemy together? But this person, this friend, this family member turns at you in the face of that antagonist and starts accusing you because he or she has just freaked out, just seen the enormity of the challenge and felt that you are to blame. That is what fear is. In the face of a daunting challenge, mind turns against you and says it is your fault that you are having this challenge. Instead of joining forces with you to fight the challenge, no, it turns against you. Fear is when you allow the unreal to antagonize the real in favor of the unreal. Everything you have had to fear is always in the future, because the one who fears has to be alive to see that there is a consequence from daring that thing or from contemplating that thing. At the time of fear, the incident hasn't happened. What you are afraid of is always in the future. No matter how remote the future may be, it's always in the future. What that means is that there is a gap between the fearer, there's any word like that, the fearer, the fearful person, and the event that is being afraid of. That is to say, that gap means that you have a window to make a transformational decision. But a lot of the times, fear prevents us from making those transformational decisions, and we make a deformative decision, which brings us down. Fear is a major distraction. It is an antagonist. In other words, other distractions take us away from decisions. They don't attack us. But fear does not only take us away from our path and our decisions, it fights us. It turns against us. And what is that is fighting us? Our own energy. That is what fear is. At the time you are afraid, understand that no danger has hit you yet. It's just imaginative. Everything there is your imagination. You have a cut. Instead of you to focus on healing that cut, you are focusing on what could happen if the cut is not healed. You have any symptom of any particular ailment. Instead of you to focus on healing, you are focused on what will happen if healing does not take place. Can you see it? Fear is jumping a step or two ahead of the trouble to get a very deadly conclusion. That's what fear is. But the right thing to do is to stay with the moment. What is going on now? I have a cut. I have a symptom of what? Of coronavirus. Of what? HIV. Whatever is that symptom, you have it right now. Your problem should not be how family will desert you, how the shame will be upon you. That's not your problem. Some people really kill themselves by contemplating those problems. Some people were hale and hearty with the symptoms. They were doing well until diagnosis came and told them, this is what you have. Within hours of being told that, their life just went down. They became bedridden because the information resurrected fear. A human being that discourages fear at every time it rears its head will be able to face the most daunting of all challenges. Understand that fear is jumping the immediate solutions for the absence of that solution. You are leaving the solution and going for the consequence. If the solutions were focused upon, the consequence that you have embraced will never happen. It is always futuristic. It is self-depreciating, self-negating. It is not a friend of yours. Fear is another aspect of the matter. Then the next thing that I really want to talk about that I left out of that 8 is this attachment to wanting to save the world, of wanting to change the world. No human being can. Like Sadhguru Vasudev once said, I watched his video about 4 or 5 years ago, there are so many permutations, so many synchronicities that have to be in place for you to change others. But all you can change that is easy for you to do is yourself. When you change yourself, the world around you will change towards you. Most of the sufferings that I have experienced in my life, most of the conflict I have found myself in, the biggest of all conflicts, they didn't come because I was being bad, because I was being evil, but they came because I was trying to correct people. I was trying to do the right thing that will bring about transformation of the world. When you direct your intention, your commitment to change the world outwardly, as in to other people, to things around you, you create very negative energies against yourself, and that thing can derail your life. Let me explain what it is like. Every human being you want to change, they have seen what they are doing as succor, as relief from the complexity of life. They don't think that it is the best thing to do, but they don't have any other way to go. They don't have any other solution. Therefore, they are focusing on this one thing. It is escape. They have seen that the world is very complex, that the world is very harsh, that the world is inexplainable. And so they are hiding here. It is their little fig leaves, their cocoon, and they are finding peace there. You not come to them to say that place is not the right place. Come out. My friend, you are like going to a person who is dozing happily to say, wake up, sleep is a sin. That person will antagonize you, will attack you. And those attacks come by way of bad thoughts. Some of them will curse you. Some of them will call you names. Some of them will set a trap for you. They will wait for you someday. At the point in which you needed their help, they will use it against you and they will floor you. The energies of people that are distracted from their distractions is a terrible energy to incur upon yourself. Let people be. The best way you can change the world is to transform yourself. When you transform yourself, the fragrance of your being will spread around the space you are. People will pick them and they will wonder. They will want to be in your presence. They will want to be like you. And that is when transformation can start for others. If you don't change yourself first, you have no capacity, you have no right to try to change other people. People must come to you seeking relief. You are not Christ. Even Christ said, whosoever cometh unto me, I will in no wise cast out. Which is to say, people must come unto him. He doesn't go unto them. If Christ does not go to people, who are you to go to people? Stay where you are. Focus on self-transformation. Don't try to transform people. Don't try to change people. Don't engage in an argument in which you are trying to push the truth to people. It's not worth it. If you are not careful, it will derail you. It will drag you back socially, financially, in every sense of the word. You will come across certain people that are very powerful in certain areas. They will use their energies against you, and you, the fact that you want to transform people, you want to correct people, you want to change people means that you are not even spiritually aware. It means you are taking a shot in the dark. What is moving you is intellectual understanding of life. It has not sunk into actual deep soul knowledge. Because if it gets to that actual deep soul knowledge, you will not make these mistakes. Because like they say in the mystical field, he said, those who know they cannot talk. Those who talk, they do not know. So what happens here is, for you who are trying to change people, correct people, I say unto you, may God forgive you, for you know not what you do. I was once in that field, and it's a terrible, terrible field. You have to stay away from things that do not contribute to your advancement. So what kind of advancement are we talking about? We are talking about spiritual advancement. You see, when you advance spiritually, you will be able to advance in other areas of your life. The spiritual advancement is the seed of growth. Focus on that. And what is this thing anyway? It is about knowing yourself, self-realization. When you know who you are, and the information from there, the loads of information from there is unbelievable. What is this knowing who you are? It simply means keep your mind still. Now, all distractions, what all distractions do is that they stir the pool of our mind. They make that pool very rowdy, very muddy and murky. If you look into a rowdy pool, you cannot see your reflection in it. And all of these things we've mentioned, anger, greed, gain consciousness, equation with material things, resentment, pride, you just name them. These are all the things that stir the pool of our being. Attempt to correct people, they send negative energies to you, the pool is stirred again. Anything that makes you uncomfortable within, that is giving you discomfort, that's giving you sleepless moments, that's making you to rethink your sense of worthiness, making you feel that you are bad, making you feel ashamed, making you have regrets. You know, regrets are another part of the distractions. When you have done anything, let it go. It is bad, we know, but let it go. If you could have helped it, you wouldn't have done it. So after you have done it, let go. Regretting is like when you have got a cut on your hand, instead of treating that cut, you are still cutting it more, being angry that you had to cut it in the first place. Or it's like looking at the cut and blaming the cut. Why did you even happen? Why did you get it? What was I thinking when I had you? Apply ointment. No, you are still staying with the cut. The cut will be festering. Regret is ego trip. It is a pity party. It doesn't help you. When you have done anything, move ahead. Repent, or the same. Tell yourself you will never do it again, and then move on. Don't regret anything. I'm telling you that. You can repent, but regretting is not it. It is not spiritual. It is not human. It is animalistic. It is bestial. It is when the mind is fully empowered to brood on that which should not have been. Regret is turning your injury against you. It will not bless you. It will not help you. Let go of your past. Let go of your injuries and move forward. Don't try to change anybody. Don't be that kind of a person. Let people rather change on the basis of what they see in you, on you, around you. That is what will make your life beautiful. The fragrance of your person will transform the people who know you. Until you get to that point in time, you are a learner. We are all learners. We are all growing. God bless you.